Hey, Devils fans, it is another game day as the Devils back home rematch tonight against the Toronto Marlies at 7:05 p.m. right behind me here inside Floyd Almaine's Veterans Memorial Arena. Last night, the Devils had so many chances against the Marlies, especially late in the game. Before the game, head coach Rick Kowalski talked about getting more chances. They got those, but now the Devils just need to find ways to convert.
You know, things don't go your way. Maybe you don't get the calls and frustration mounts and you get away from your game. And it leads to penalties, or it leads to turnovers, or it leads to guys getting out of their role. And I think it's important to realize that, you know, I said to the guys this morning, like, if we've won 3 of our last 4 games, we're probably not as frustrated after last night's game as we were. So you have to focus on the positives and certainly stick with the process as far as how we want to play as a team, and then the identity of guys as players and what they bring. And I thought we skated. I thought we were physical. I thought we caused a lot of problems on the forecheck. You know, we capitalized on some of those chances. We score on that 5-on-3. It's a different game. So I think it's important for us just to refocus and come back with the same effort tonight. A little more attention to detail against a good team in some situations, stay out of the penalty box, and not feel that we have to do anything different.
Devils goaltending coach Scott Clemenson is in town to work with goaltenders Ken Appleby and Mackenzie Blackwood. What exactly goes into that as he was out there with them two this morning?
It's number one, it's working with them on the ice, and usually the things that you're working on are things that you've labeled and targeted from watching a previous game. So you go on the ice with them on those practice days, you show them video, and then we kind of talk about some tweaks or you know, adaptations that you want to make in a guy's game, or improving upon something you've already started. And so me getting here and continuing to work on some of those things, but also targeting little areas that I may have seen from a previous game. So then you get on the ice, you work with those things, and now the next game comes. Now what you want to see is you want to see some improvements in those areas, or the goalie implementing the things that you worked on in practice day before. You want to see those things implemented in the game itself. And so it's not always about wins and losses and stats. It is about personal development and growth in some of those small areas.
He's seen the progress of both Appleby and Blackwood, and Clemenson very impressed with what he's seen so far.
Well, number one, their skating has improved in the past couple of seasons. That's something we've really worked hard on. I mean, I think that's a strong foundation of any goalie's game, particularly their games. And then you identify the strengths and the weaknesses of each, and each athlete's going to be different. And so there's no one right way of playing, but it is about understanding their game, making sure that they understand their game as best as possible, and then working on their strengths to continue to build them. And then obviously working on some of the areas that you think are their weaker points of their game. And then all of a sudden, when you start working with them more and more, you see progression in them, like I said, and then you're looking for those things to translate into the games, which, if you're doing the right things, you know, hopefully the overall picture, like I said before, it's not so much about wins and losses, but when you're doing the right things, you're playing the right way, the overall picture becomes better, and those things kind of take care of themselves. But it's through those small details, it's the things that you've seen, particularly with those two guys. It's positioning and movement, and the foundations, tracking their pucks and using their hands in a controlled manner, which at times is difficult to do, especially when you're playing in a league like this, where the rinks that you play in kind of vary in size. So some rinks are going to be smaller and it's going to be quicker plays, but being able to maintain that positioning, but not being too out of control at times, which, like I said, kind of varies from rink to rink in this league. But it still is one of the foundations to both those goalies' games. And so I've seen growth in the past couple of years, you know, in a number of different areas, and then all of a sudden you kind of start putting the pieces together and being more of a complete goalie.
Hope you can come on out to the Floyd Almaine's Veterans Memorial Arena tonight. The puck drops at 7:05 p.m. Happy Veterans Day to all of those who have served and are currently serving this great country. We're honoring you with free tickets. All active duty, reserved, retired, and veteran service members can get into tonight's game against the Marlies for free. Again, 7:05 puck drop. If you can't make it out to the arena tonight, we'll have the game for you live on U.S. Country 96.9 FM and 680 AM WINR beginning at 6:45 with the M&T Bank countdown to face off. With another edition of Devils Game Day here in Binghamton as the Devils getting ready to face the Marlies on Devils Vision, I'm Rob Lapolis.